Welcome to the 14th video on compressible fluid flow. My name is Ravish Tiar, Assistant Professor from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Rajagiri School of Engineering and Technology. In this video, we will discuss the topic real nozzles. While studying the nozzle, we consider different assumptions. We say that the flow is isentropic and that there are no losses associated with the flow. But in actual case, there occurs losses, and because of which the flow behavior deviates from what is expected ideally. Such nozzles are referred to as real nozzles or actual nozzles. The reasons for deviation from the ideal flow behavior is as stated below. First one, the flow is not one-dimensional because it is two-dimensional and axisymmetric. There will be variation in x and y direction. This is because of the viscosity of fluid passing through the nozzle. Because of viscous nature, there will be boundary layer formation and the flow velocity will be zero along the wall, whereas it will be maximum along the axis. So we see at a particular cross section, the velocity doesn't remain constant. It will vary from 0 to a maximum value. The next one, we assume that the flowing fluid is a perfect gas, that the specific heat and the gas constant remains the same. But in actual case, when the flow takes place with a heat addition and heat transfer, there will be change in the specific heat of the fluid as well as the characteristic gas constant of the fluid, because of which there will be variation in the flow properties. Third one, there can be change in chemical nature of the fluid during the flow. In most of the cases, we pass high energy gas through the nozzle. It is obtained by burning fuel in the presence of oxygen. The combustion takes place at a rapid rate, and most of the cases there will be unburned fuel flowing in the fluid. Sometimes these unburned fuel may reignite while it is passing through the nozzle, because of which there will be additional energy release during the nozzle and hence change the property of the fluid. And the unburned fuel or particles present in the gas can corrode the surface of the nozzle and again increase the frictional forces. And in the real nozzle, we assume that the flow at the exit of the nozzle is parallel to each other and goes with a cross-section area same as that of the exit of the nozzle, but divergence is something that we cannot control entirely. So there will be losses due to divergence of flow at the exit. Apart from this, we sometimes consider the conditions at the inlet of the nozzle to be stagnation condition. The velocity at the inlet of the nozzle is neglected. That also adds to the error when we calculate the equations for real nozzles. From steady flow energy equation, we can write for a nozzle h1 plus v1 square by 2 is equal to h plus h2 plus v2 square by 2. For an ideal nozzle, let us represent the condition at 2 with a suffix s. For real nozzle, it will be h1 plus v1 square by 2 is equal to h2a plus v2a square by 2 plus losses. So the energy after the flow process has been completed through the nozzle will be less, and there will be some losses from the fluid. So the nozzle efficiency can be defined as the ratio of change in actual enthalpy drop across the nozzle to the ideal enthalpy drop. We can write it as eta efficiency is equal to H1 minus H2A the whole divided by H1 minus H2S. Similarly, we can also define efficiency for a diffuser. The diffuser efficiency is defined as ideal enthalpy drop across the diffuser to the actual enthalpy drop. That is, eta D is equal to H2S minus H1 divided by H2A minus H1. Now let us discuss some correction factors which are used in the design of real nozzles. First one is the energy conversion efficiency represented by E. It is defined as the ratio of kinetic energy per unit flow of actual jet leaving the nozzle to the kinetic energy per unit flow of a hypothetical jet. Both these jets are supplied with the same working substance. It comes from the same initial state and velocity and expands to the same exit pressure. So E can be written as Ca square divided by Cs square. Here Ca represents the actual velocity at the exit and Cs represents the ideal velocity at the exit of the nozzle. From this we can define another term, that is the velocity correction factor. It is the square root of energy conversion efficiency. You see it is represented as theta V and the value lies in the range of 0.85 to 0.9. Next, we will discuss about discharge correction factor. It is the ratio of mass flow rate in a real nozzle to that of an ideal nozzle that expands identical working fluid from the same initial condition to the same exit pressure. It is represented as zeta d, and we can write zeta d is equal to m dot a divided by m dot s. Its value lies between 1 to 1.15. Here we see that the actual mass flow rate is slightly greater than the ideal mass flow rate. This is because of the following conditions. First, when the working fluid passes through the nozzle, a part of the heat from the working fluid lying near to the walls get transferred to the nozzle walls, because of which the temperature of these particles decreases, which results in increase in density of these particles and hence will result in increase in the mass flow rate. And as also discussed earlier, there can be heavy particles like the unburned fuels, and there can be changes in the fluid properties because of reactions taking place inside the nozzle. All these can result in increase in the molecular weight and specific heat of the gases that flows through the nozzle. This can also result in an increased effect of mass flow rate.